Philippines #1 live rock. I did not expect to be here up in front of you because I'm usually comfortable with wearing baggy jeans and, you know, tattered shirts. I'm comfortable that way. Kunya, nagkataon ko maghimong disenteng tao na I started working for the call center business. And I don't know really where to start. Okay ba, asa ko start in sharing my story with you. But if you were my agent before, or you worked with me before in the call center business, makaingon mo, wow, grabing Ginoo, Sir Marlon. Because half my face would droop, my lip would droop, I couldn't move my arm. Now I'm moving it down in my leg. Because I was younger when I got the stroke, doctors told me, Marlon, the drug we gave you rapidly repaired your neurons. This is where the stroke really affects you. And it's two parts of the brain. Yeah, the cross na siya. So at the right side, which controls this side, mo napiktaran. As a supervisor sa call center, ako kay kong sweldo. Abi na kong Superman ako. If you're looking for somebody who's been very abusive, sa iyang lawas, sa iyang pagkaon, sa iyang pag-inom, you are looking at him. I was among the most abusive persons sa iyang lawas. And I even went into drugs. I will tell you that my wife, I told her already before, in my radio business career, you were exposed to different parts of society. The rich, the artistas, and I just won't tell names, but a lot of them use drugs. I was exposed with them as well. And that is what also got into my system, and that's what I guess over time, sometimes every one of us, you notice that your body is telling you something until di ka mo listen sa mong lawas. Sometimes it starts with just numbness of your fingers. And then it let's say, goes up to migraines. And then headaches na di ka kasabot, like your head would crack. Your body is already warning you, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what I went through. But I did not mind that. I thought, huwag nagugtog, I would just pop biogesic or pop medical, and that was it. Until such time na I was sleeping, we came in from church, I had a terrible headache. Our room was air conditioned. I set it always on high because I like it that way, because my body is insulated. Naibuong ko na I was sweating. The whole bed na ko. It's like I got out of the swimming pool and laid on my bed. Inana ko kasingot. And I wanted to get up, but I could not move. So I was conscious. Muna siguro ni urong. I was thinking to myself, muna ni urong. I couldn't move a single limb on my body that time. So it took me a whole lot of effort just to move my body, and I moved my right leg. And thank goodness, I was able to kick the cabinet which was next to our bed, because I couldn't speak. And even now, salamat sa Ginoo, I told him, Lord, if you'd want to take everything from me, you want to take half of my body, be so. If you want to take my arms, my legs, be it so. Ayaw lang igwagtala akong tingog kay mura gina akong puhunan. Mura akong puhunan panguyab sa asawang gwapa. Kay si Ma'am Ruby told me, you were saying you're tall, dark, and handsome. Ingon sila, magkanindot ang tingog sa DJ, magkabating naong. And, well, it works in some individuals, but I would always say that I am a handsome young man. Yes, handsome inside and out, I feel now. But, I'll tell you honestly, kung ma-stroke mo, this is the part where I don't want to, touch, because I get really emotional. At the age of 38, I got my stroke. I'm now nearing 44. You would want to die. You would really want to die. Imagine you lose the mobility of half of your body. Imagine you losing your speech. Imagine you not going out with your friends anymore. They text you, "Bye, party kita diri namin diri ron sa atong old hangout, disputa or whatever." You can't go because your face is like that. And then my sugar shot up. This is why my teeth started falling out. So what I did, I shut myself away from people. Even from my wife and my kids, I shut them out. Okay. I just wanted to kill myself. You're a party person. You have a lot of friends. You know the mayors, the councilors of the city. You know people. You know places. You go places, and all of a sudden, waon lang, just like that. And that's how terrible my life was. And then one glorious night, I thank God. Thank you, Lord. He loves me very much. Okay, because of the therapy I went through, I began moving my leg and my arm, and my speech started coming back. Ingon akong wife na, I wanted to go back to the only job I was good at, which was sales and marketing in call center. I'd always wanted to talk to Americans. None of that. Pero I couldn't go back because it would stress my life again. Because if you want to work in a call center, ang imong kliyente are Americans. So if you want to work here, you work here at night. Kaya mo may adlaw nila dito. So I couldn't do that. So I worked in an Australian company, call center gihapon, may nalagay hapon. I worked that way. But the pay was not nice. I have 5 kids, all going to private school. Liskot kay kinabuhi na mo. Ato sa wife, but I'm so thankful. My wife there, sitting right next to my brother from another mother. Ingon siya. This is how I met Purtier Placenta, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you know Mr. John Ungap, the famous lawyer, dito sa Cebu, who was shot in the head. He was assassinated and murdered. Ang iyang wife is the best friend of my wife. Kunya, ang kaning anak ni Pearl, failing na sa school. So my wife, concerned kay ang bata is failing, she was thinking na kaning sigurong bayhan na, very stressed kay naman, bago na ba namatay ang wife. So ipatawag niya si Pearl. Pearl, you have to come over to school because your daughter is failing. So my wife was thinking na kani si Pearl would look Lucian, Luya, okay, just a few months namatay ba yung mana. Lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, niabot si Pearl, murag artista, blooming, rosy kay cheek. Yan akong wife ko, nagunsak ka. You're looking for another one. Madam, I was so stressed when John died. I wanted to just die. I wanted to kill myself. I was suicidal. And then a friend of mine said, "Dai, pag Purtier Placenta, dai." Siya, bakit na Purtier Placenta, ma'am? Kaya akong husband stroke victim ba yan? Siya, ba? So yun siya na naay kuhan sa... Hold on, Mommy, the AA barbecue? Yeah, AA barbecue. That was the first time I met Purtier Placenta at AA barbecue. And we had to quarrel. Nag-away mismo nubila sa sakyanan. Kaya siya, liko lagi Guadalupe. Ako, dili, talampan ta. Ato talampan yung siya, liko o Guadalupe ba? 1 hour lang. Because I would like to tell you, it's no offense, and I don't want to be offensive to the other health and wellness groups that are big in the Philippines. I used USANA. I spent almost 300,000, almost 200,000 plus on USANA. Forever Living, Intra, DXN. Dapat ito'y kapi ko nun, milagro ko ng kapiha to. Sa itong kapiha mo ng tubumo. It was all black and I just, niya ba siya paita, but he said, sir, drink this, sir. Ayaw din mo, sir. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. So I got sick and tired of listening to my wife because she loved me so much, I couldn't blame her. She just says, what's up? Inani mo taka cute. Basta inani ka attractive yung bana, in love ka niya. Well, that's what I told my wife before. I don't have a pleasing personality, but ayaw lang kong pastoryaan, di mo mangnaway ka. I love you, Mom. So, Moto, eventually I gave in to her. Kay guys, mga gentlemen, and not so gentlemen there is a room. Kung ma-stroke ka, muna magkayong mo ninyo, I hope inyo tabuni ang kuwan sa inyong mga bata. Kay ma-stroke ka, ang imo ang flagpole, di na imugahin, sir, ma'am. Mo tong suicidal kay ko, kay gwapa kay ang wife, and I couldn't use my freaking flagpole. Kanya kayo kung gwapa kay ang asawa, kasi niya, you know. So that's what frustrated me, and that's what really dug into my brain ang akong insecurity na di na ko cute kay hiwi ko now. Really, I'm just being human. That is the fact of you getting a stroke, of you getting sick. Kunya, naka-notice mo ko, kung healthy ka, dagang kagwarta, daghan kay muduol yung mga amigo. Pero once you're sick and you get a stroke, you want to reach out to them. Wala. Kaya ang aking therapy at the time was 5,000 a week. And I needed my therapy, so I called my friend, best friend ko nuhay, kubay, kahol ba kung kwarta niya. Daghan king rason. May, ako'y kwarta rin, pero the next thing I knew, it was like Boracay, you know that kind of stuff. So when you're sick, only your family is beside you. Imo lang yung mama, yung papa, yung asawa. That's the only people you could really depend on. So Moto, when going back to Purtier, I'm sorry, I think I'm doing. Eric, have I reached my time cap? Okay. Moto, I gave in to my wife, liko mi Guadalupe, and I intended something like this. Kamay ng crowd, this is a very huge crowd. The crowd was almost a quarter of this room. And I was just nagyaw-yaw ko the whole time. Nagyaw-yaw ko the whole time. I've heard about this stuff. With my cousin, magpa-injection ng stem cell para magwapa siya, 600,000, pero every 6 months, balik na po siya. So I was telling my wife, kibaw ko, ani, you know, feeling know everything ka? Like, you know this, you know that. Alam mo ng mga, way up there before. But, I'd like to tell you now, ang atong produkto will humble you. You will be humbled by this product, our product. And that night, I was humbled. It was not because of the guy presenting Purtier Placenta. I saw that in top 10 causes of death. And I have heard about stem cell before because I was a wide reader po ko. Pero ang curious na ko, yun, katong isulti sa ni engineer kanina. Now, how come a company would last for 10 years, because I've been in sales and marketing, don't get me wrong, we had a lot of products, and we developed more products to attract the market. Pero usa na ka produkto for 10 years, and that got my attention. Uy, yawa good. One product. Pero, well, I don't know if my Reway classmates know about this. There's consensuous na karon. Also by Reway. You guys should try it. I'm trying it on my wife soon. It's also a good product. That's the only product, but ang superstar product karon is a Purtier Placenta. So, nakita ko dito, usa ka guy, mag-ingon sa katong presenter, I would like to share with you a good friend of mine who's had 2 heart bypasses, colon cancer. He is 60 years old, and if you call a guy like that, 60 years old, colon cancer, 2 heart bypasses, magkaya ko kalakalan-say siguro yung duwar na rin. Di ba? Lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, this guy was a handsome 60-year-old guy. Walked over, and I was just, that was my face. Dito ko nakatuloy ko, this product must work. Alright, the next day, long story short, let's cramp it up because I know there's another testimony. I took 2 bottles. And then, after 3 days, of all the therapy and all the money that I've spent on just getting my health back, ang lang ginawagtan na ayaw na akong face, I could move my arm and my leg already, ang numbness sa akong kamot o tiil. 30 minutes ko mag-drive, I have to pull over para i-shake na ko ang kamot. Because it was so numb, you couldn't feel the wheels of the driving wheels and the pedals. Di na mo ma-feel. And aside from that, ang atong superpower na kung flat pole, katong problema na, yes, that's my major problem yun. But, after 3 days of taking the product, because Pearl told me, si Sir Marlon ba, ay na siya tulo sa buwas sa buntag, buwas sa untog, buwas sa gabi, kaya na-stroke man na siya ka. So that's my dosage. On the 3rd day, nawagtang ang numbness. Wala lagi numb akong kamot. I told my wife, inom ito, di ka buko, mong kagutin ka lang. And after 1 week of taking the product, we had our second honeymoon. Hantod, ingon siya, gusto na because I got my powers back. And I got my power back like crazy. And I used it on the most beautiful girl in the world, which is my wife. Andun siya rin mo reklamo. And then after that, wapanahulot ang 2 bottles, I decided to take the whole therapy set. Ma'am Yee, ang testimony kanina, I kept hearing her say a lot of her former patients, mahal ko no, mahal. Guys, I have been full-time now. I made my own call center. I gave it up to my sister. Ikay take care sa akong negosyo. 60-40 lang ta. 60% mo 40% ako. I am now concentrating on Reway. Because na ako'y friend kay may organization ka mga pitbull gani, ka mag-show niya sa Park Mall, mga ero, mo na yung amuang organization. Iyang dad who smokes 3 packs a day. 3 packs a day. Coma. Lungs wouldn't function as in, ng doctor, murag 1 or 1 point something na lang ang lungs sa functionality. Hindi kang manginikarilyo kang tulog kakaha. So sa kandang, by the way, I was 2-pack smoker before. Ingon siya, Marl, how can you help my dad? Next testimony, I will get the video para believe mo. Ako nung kuwawan siyang cellphone. siya, Marl, how can you help my dad? Na hindi naman siya katuon. So I went to my mother. I don't know if you know her, Mrs. Bintan. Muna siya yung nag-mold na ko. Siya, Marl, soft capsule man lang. Cut open the tip. Painom niya 5 capsules. In the morning, 5 capsules in the evening. 2 days lang, guys, libangon yung mapa. Dito na kuningo na full-time na gitwa yung freeway. I wanted to bring him here, pero ingon siya, Marl, ayaw sa Marl, mauwaw ko. Iko ba'y, sharing this, ayaw ka uwaw. Ayaw na ba'y, ako lang papaboy ako, gusto kaya ako. Pero the gentleman is now alive and his lungs, di mo mutuon. From 1 or 0.1 something percent, karon 30% functionality, both lungs. Kahilak kung kay kung istorya ninyo ani kay if you would only see the gentleman naara sa dumpling sa ilang kwarto kay para maduol ko sa CR. When I got into the house, skin and bones. Skin and bones. So that's why after being healed of my stroke, and that's just one story. My story, and I know each and every one. Kanina ka mafia karon, I know you have your story too. And then I would like to pass it on to the next testimonial person. Thank you very much for your time, and God bless you all.